Well, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, the leading flat earthers are changing their tune very fast. You see, the bluff has been called. At the beginning of all of this nonsense back in 2015, they had all of these proofs that the Earth was flat, and one of them was, there's no midnight sun in Antarctica. And guess what? You can't even go to Antarctica. If you try, the government, the military, the navy will stop you because they're hiding a secret. And that secret is that there's no midnight sun in Antarctica. And then this guy called Will Duffy came along and he said, I tell you what, I will pay for me and for some other people to go to Antarctica in December, and we will see if there's a midnight sun. And if there is, then that is the end of this flat earth nonsense. But if there isn't a midnight sun, then the flat earthers are onto something, and the ball earth model's in big trouble. So the flat earthers, who've been saying for 9 years now, there's no midnight sun, you can't go there, they've got a free ticket to Antarctica to go and prove that the earth is flat. And what have they done? Well, let's take a look at Level Earth Observer, he likes to call himself. What is his response to this calling of the bluff, as I call it? What's his response to it? Let's take a look.
Destroying the final experiment in under a minute. Let's just say the viewer sees the circling sun in Antarctica in December. Fascinating observation. But here lies the problem for the globe Earth believers.
Now hold on, so straight away he's like, well, okay, well, let's just say that there is a so after 9 years of there's no midnight sun and that's proof of a flat earth, now it's, well, let's say that there is.
Now guys, you've got to prove how a circling sun works on a physically impossible globe Earth.
Oh, you've got to prove how the sun works on the ball earth that's impossible for other so it doesn't matter anymore, apparently.
Good luck with that, because we all know there's no practicality whatsoever suggests the globe Earth theory is anything but a theory. So it doesn't matter what happens in the sky in December in Antarctica.
Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. So after 9 years, 9 years, folks, remember, I was the host of the Ball Earth Skeptic Roundtable back in 2015. I spoke with all of the big flat earthers. I spoke with Mark Sargent, Jeranism, Eric Dubé, the Moore guy. I spoke with all of these people and many more. At that time, you couldn't go to Antarctica. It's off limits because they're hiding the secret. And the secret is there's no midnight sun. So it's gone from that to, well, yeah, maybe you can go and maybe there is a midnight sun, but the globe Earth is still impossible, they say.
The physicality of this Earth proves to us all that the globe's impossible. I dare you to try and refute me.
Well, they are refuting you. They're going in December. Remember, you were saying, you flat earthers were saying, there is no midnight sun. Have we forgotten that already? How are we just going to memory hole the last 9 years, are we?
Physical demonstrations proving the globe in the comments. I suspect all we're going to get is pantomime. Have a good one.
Pantomime, he says. Have a good one. All right, so you see what's happening here, folks. They've gone from no Antarctica, you can't go there, no trips there, not happening, and there's no midnight sun to, well, maybe there's a, maybe you can go, and, well, maybe there is a midnight sun, but the Earth is still flat, is what they're saying. Now, I know that they do this kind of thing. I predicted it. And the reason I predicted it was because they've done it before, and I'll show you evidence of that in just a moment. But first, so I chatted with Will Duffy about his final experiment and the fact that he's going to Antarctica. He's giving a free ticket to the flat earthers who've been saying for 9 years there's no flat. You can't have a midnight sun on the flat earth. And they're all jumping like rats off a sinking ship off of that flat earth proof. But the earth is still, all of the flat earth proofs one by one have been chopped down. They've been blown to smithereens. But the earth is still flat, they're certain of it.
They came from mental institutions and insane asylums.
Now you might be thinking, JLB, why? I thought you stopped talking about flat earth. I thought you'd already... Okay, fair enough. I was recently on an interview, a live stream, with this Understanding Conspiracy. His name is Paul, is the guy who runs this channel. And we spoke about a heap of topics. I'll put a link to this in the show notes below. We only touched on flat earth for like 5 or 10 minutes. And yet, what do you think is the main topic that people are talking about in the comments, if you had to get? So we spoke about lots of things for 2 hours, and then for the last half hour we spent maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe tops, talking about flat earth. So of all of that, what do you think was the topic that the people in the comments wanted to talk about. Well, let's scroll down here. Let's take a little look. This person who says my name, my last name, they say, oh, that's a false statement. When I was explaining this, it's a proof of a flat earth. Oh, actually, we changed it. Oh, that's a false statement. Ball earth model doesn't match anything in reality. Well, I made a mistake, folks. I replied to this person. I explained, well, the ball earth model, whether you like it or you don't, can explain the flights between Australia and South America. It can do that. It also explains the lights in the sky. This model does explain those things, whether you like it or not. And then this person came back with more gobbledygook. So I went and looked at their channel. So that same person is saying, oh no, the ball earth model doesn't work for all of these reasons. Okay. I went and looked at their channel. They've got one video. The video is called Real UFO Light Flew About 100 Feet Above Me. This is their video. It's a light in the sky, just flying along. And that's it, that's the video. That's their real UFO light. And the people in the comment section are giving them grief for that. But they go on about flat earth. So these are the kind of people, if you're still a flat earth after all of these years, these are the kinds of people you're mixing with, by the way, in case you're not aware of that. Now I want to talk about something very important. I knew that the flat earthers would change. Once Will Duffy called their bluff and said, I'll pay for you to go to Antarctica, I knew the flat earthers would just say, well, it doesn't matter. Our proof of a flat earth? Doesn't matter anymore, actually. No. So it went from no midnight sun in Antarctica, that's a proof of flat earth, and now that there is going to be a midnight sun in Antarctica, which these people know full well. They know full well that's going to happen. Now it's, well, actually, the lights in the sky in Antarctica don't matter anymore. So it went from being a proof, when they thought there was no midnight sun, they never get their bluff called, they could just get away with that. Now it's, well, it doesn't matter anymore. So it's gone from a proof. So the lack of a midnight sun, in their opinion, proof of a flat earth. Oh, there is a midnight sun. Well, in that case, it doesn't matter. Now, how did I know that would happen, folks? You might be wondering, how did JLB know that this would happen? Well, the same thing happened back in 2015-16 with the flights in the Southern Hemisphere. Let me show you some evidence of what I'm saying. This is, like I said, from 2015-16. This is Flat Earth Dave, who at the time was known as Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH, David Weiss. This is him being caught out in one of these same little attempts at sleight of hand and memory holing. Take a look at this. He said that I misquoted him because I said that he said the flights prove that the Earth isn't flat.
The leading flat Earth proponent, David Weiss, is on public record as stating that if it could be proved that direct flights from Australia to South America exist, it would, and I quote, prove the Earth is a ball.
A great way to prove that the Earth is not a ball, or the Earth is a ball, is to take a trip from the tip of Africa, or better yet, South America, to Australia or New Zealand, and see if it takes 12 hours or the amount of time it should take if the Earth was a ball.
Crush the flat Earth model.
It would add a lot of questions for sure, if not crush the flat Earth model.
Shatter the flat Earth explanation.
That would shatter the flat Earth, explanation.
And change everything.
But if we can just show that you can make that flight, that would change everything.
Because there are no shortcuts on a flat Earth.
Because there are no shortcuts on a flat Earth.
And the flights would be impossible on a flat Earth.
And it would be impossible on a flat Earth if that's the case. And it would be impossible.
So that was David. So this is back before people were certain that the flights exist. This is back before anybody from this so-called community had taken a flight from Australia to South America or vice versa. So it started off back in 2015. They had all of these proofs of flat Earth. One of them was there's no midnight Antarctic sun. The other one was that you can't fly between the southern continents. The flights between Australia and South America are fake, for example. Those were proofs of flat Earth. Then when someone did take the flight, someone who they trust, it was Max Egan, it went from there's no southern flights, which is proof of a flat Earth, to, oh, there are flights? Well, that's actually proof of a flat Earth. So I was watching all of this unfold in real time back in 2015-16, and I realized we're not dealing with people who have any intellectual integrity. These people have no shame, no class. They don't give a flying you-know-what about the so-called truth. They just want to run their stupid little flat Earth cult, and it's worked. If you're out there, Dave, Flat Earth Dave, as you call yourself now, well done, man. You have successfully, quite clearly, infected the minds of hundreds, if not thousands of people with this flat earth nonsense, even though I was pointing out from the beginning that your story and the other flat earthers, their stories were changing. And it's happening again with people like Level Earth Observer and these other people. So folks, if you want to find the evidence that I'm talking about, I will link to this video showing David Weiss saying if the southern flights exist, it crushes flat earth. The southern flights do exist, but he kept pushing flat earth, didn't he?
They came from mental institutions and insane asylums.
And I'll put a link to my chat with Will Duffy from The Final Experiment. This guy's doing fantastic work in my opinion. I'll put a link to that. And then also my chat from last night with Understanding Conspiracy. It already has thousands of views and hundreds of thumbs up, and people seem to have enjoyed the show. It was only on flat earth for a little bit. We spoke about synchromysticism, the history hoax, the golden age of the so-called truth movement, artificial intelligence, good or bad, pros and cons. We talked about a heap of things, but of course, the mind virus has taken over. And that's why his comment section is full of flat earthers going, oh no, it is flat, JLB, you mustn't know the flat earth. I was the first person interviewing these people. And I was the one sounding the alarm. Guys, some of these flat earth promoters, they might be decent people, but some of them are up to no good. And I saw it from the beginning. And you will too. Check those links in the info box below and have yourselves a lovely day.
They came from mental institutions and insane asylums.